Hi, we're gonna do a level 2 medium level makeup tutorial. I'm gonna show you how to do this look. A little bit ago I did a level 1 makeup tutorial, which was basic, very beginner. So this is a step up from that. But as you're watching this, you can decide, I don't wanna do that. Makeup is very personal. So if there's ever anything in here that you're like, not for me, don't do it. You don't have to. But I hope you will follow along and help me recreate this look. First step, wash your face, moisturize, and put on sunscreen if it's the daytime. You can use a primer. I honestly don't find that it's super necessary for this type of look. Also, then we get into the complicated water-based versus silicone-based and how it mixes with your foundation, so I find it sometimes easier to just not do it. But if you want to use one, use one. If you have any redness like me, I really like to go in with a green color corrector. I got this one years ago. I think it's CoverGirl Cover Stick green corrector. So I just take a little bit and blend that in to these marks. Not too much. You don't want to really be able to see that it's green. You just want to cancel out the red. Something I've been doing a lot lately is using a tinted sunscreen. This one is nice. It's the Age Defense one. You don't need this, but it has hyaluronic acid, so it's extra moisturizing. So I put that on after the color corrector, and it gives my face just a little more coverage, a little more hydration. Next, we're gonna do brows. I am not good at brows. My brows have always been kind of thick, so I don't do much, but I'm gonna try to show something you can do. I'm gonna take this eyebrow pen. This is from IT Cosmetics. You're gonna comb your brows up and just kind of fill in where there are gaps. Just kind of trying to do like short hair-like strokes. And I don't wanna do up here. So like really don't go any further than here. If you want to, actually, you can go at the bottom here. And then I like to brush through again to get rid of any harsh lines. And I'll go in with a tinted brow gel. I really like the Super Lock one from Maybelline. It works great. First, you're gonna take off the excess. You don't want big globs. And start back here again so you don't start with the most product on this part of your brow. Slick your eyebrows up. I take my finger and I just brush them back. And this brow is always better than this brow. And I can't help it. If you have any blemishes, there are two ways you can do this. Some people like to put on their concealer before the foundation. Some people like to put on concealer after the foundation. Put on concealer after foundation. You have to make sure your concealer is the exact same shade as your foundation. Mine never is, so I like to put it on before. Because if it's not the same shade, then you're gonna have a bunch of little dots of a different color on your face. So I'm gonna take some of this NYX Bare With Me concealer serum. I'm gonna pump a little on the back of my hand. Take a brush like this. I highly recommend Real Techniques brushes or Morphe brushes. So if you want some cheaper brushes, look there. This is IT Cosmetics. Again, I got it for free. And you're just gonna stipple it on any spots. If you have oily skin, let this sit for a second before blending it out. If you are like me right now and have dry skin, blend it out immediately or else it will make your whole face crusty. And I'm gonna go in with the L'Oreal True Match Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. Shake it up a little bit, put it on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna take a brush like this and just stipple it on. You don't want to drag. I just dragged over here, but you don't want to drag to blend it in. You just want to pat it in like this. You want to make sure you get down your neck. Personal preference for me, I don't like putting foundation that is light coverage on my nose. My nose behaves weirdly with foundation, and there are ways you can fix it. I've never found one that works, so I just don't put it on there if I'm wearing light coverage because you can't tell anyway. And then don't put any foundation on your under eye. That is for concealer only. I'm gonna use a little sponge and just dab that in. You can get these from Dollar Tree, or I think I got this from like TJ Maxx. So just pressing that in even more. Same concealer as before. Under your eye. You can even just do a little here, but I am extra tired today and I'm gonna use a lot. I'm gonna take that sponge again and really blend it out. Next, we're gonna do liquid blush. I'm gonna take this from ColourPop, and you could put it directly on your cheeks, but I find I have more control and it works more the way I want it to if I put it on my hand first, and then I take a brush. This one is also from ColourPop. Just kind of stipple it on there evenly, and then I just stipple it on the face. It's very pigmented, so keep blending. And if you put on too much, I'll show you how to fix it. This is the reason that some people do blush then concealer, so it blends it out. We're gonna do a little bit of that with what's left over. And the rest, we're gonna take this brush again that had our foundation on it. Just blend out the edges. And going back and forth is also helpful because sometimes you take too much away. And you can even go all the way over it if you want, just gently. And I always like to put a little on my nose. Powder time. I have this Wet n Wild blush in Bed of Roses. I'm just gonna take a tiny little bit on this brush. It's a different brush. Lightly put that on top. My nose too. Then we're gonna make sure we didn't get any creases in here and go in. I really like this pressed Fit Me powder. The loose Fit Me powder is good too. Take a little spongy thing like this, press it in, tap off the excess, and press that. And then I also like to tap it anywhere I might get shiny. So like down here, definitely up here on my chin. All right, eyeshadow. You can put on concealer as your base. I like eyeshadow base. I'm trying to use up this Ulta Beauty one, but you definitely need something on your eyes before you do any sort of eyeshadow. If you're gonna go into some neutral eyeshadow after this, which we are, I recommend setting the eye. I'm using just that Fit Me powder again, just to give yourself a smoother base to work with. When it's brighter colors, you'll want it to be a little tacky, but it's easier to blend neutrals when it's set. We're gonna do a super simple eyeshadow look. You're gonna need 3 shades, light, medium, and dark of brown if you want it to be natural. Go with a darker dark if it's nighttime and you want it to be a little more bold. If it's daytime, you don't wanna be that dramatic, go with a lighter, darkest shade. So I'm gonna do this one, and this one. This is from the Going Coconuts palette from ColourPop. All right, so I'm gonna start with a eyeshadow brush like this. This is from ColourPop, and I'm gonna go in with this color, tap off the excess, and just start kind of going back and forth in little circular motions, kind of like how you brush your teeth in little circular motions. You're gonna want to do that with your eyeshadow. And I'm not pressing, I'm lightly touching. And then I want to build up a little more. Another little tap, tap off. You always want to build up. You don't want to start with a lot. And I'm gonna take it down here because I kind of like the way it carves out my nose a little bit when you do this. And I'm gonna take a smaller, more compact brush like this. Take this darker shade, so I'll tap off the excess and just kind of press in this shape on my outer corner, like a little half moon. And again, building up that coverage rather than starting bold. Now that I have that kind of built up, I'm gonna softly, barely touching it, go along the edges. If you have hooded eyes, like I do, you're gonna wanna look ahead and make sure you have the dark above that crease, because if you only have it right in the crease, you're not gonna see it when your eyes are just looking straight forward. Now you're gonna go back in with that first color, tap a little bit with that original brush, and lightly go across this again just to help smooth out any of those lines. You can even go over this whole spot too, just to make it more blended. My main tip for eyeshadow is just blend, blend, blend. You're gonna spend a lot of time doing this. Or if you blend it too far up or the lines just don't look nice and blended, you could take a little face powder, like this L'Oreal True Match powder. Take a little brush, kind of brush along the edges with that face powder, and it helps soften up the edges. Our lightest color now, I'm gonna use this, and I'm just gonna use my finger. You can use a flat brush though, like a brush kind of like this. My finger will work fine, and I'm just gonna put that in the inner part of my eye and drag it up. And this can be a shimmer color that you use. I love doing it with shimmers. Bring it about to the center-ish of your eye where that other color stopped. See how pretty that looks with the bright inner eye and the dark outer? Do not forget to do this last step. Take that medium color, which is this one. I'm just taking it on the same fluffy brush, but I'm pinching it, and I'm just going under my eye here. Not all the way, just to like here. I'm also going to take a little of that white, put it in my inner corner and under the eye a little bit. I'm also going to show you a really simple eyeliner. So this is the Tattoo Studio from Maybelline gel pencil. This is in the shade Espresso Teeny. And then you're going to go just a tiny bit in the corner of your eye here, just like that. On the other side of this is a little smudging tool. So you're just going to flick outward with that smudger, then inward towards your lash line. And then I'm going to take my finger, let's make it a little sharper. Ta-da! I accidentally did more on this side, yay! So we're just going to add more on this side. Oh, and it went under my eye. Well, that's fine, because I can just smudge it out. Take this more dense one, smudge it out. Well, now I have to add it on the other side too. I just said a lot of stuff, but I realized I wasn't recording. I set the whole thing before I put on mascara with the Make It Last Milani setting spray. It really melds all the makeup together. Now I'm going in with mascara. I start with the bottom lashes, because if I start with the top, then I do the bottom ones, and then I'm looking down, and then I get mascara on my top lid. So that's my personal preference. I'm using the Colossal Bubble Mascara. I actually don't really like it. I would recommend L'Oreal Paradise Big Deal instead. This is just out, so I can't use it. I would also recommend like the Sky High, the Lash Paradise up here. Try those out. But we went in on our lower lashes. Now we're just doing a few layers on the upper lashes. I do one eye, then the other, then one eye, then the other again. If you do get any mascara on your lid or anywhere as you're putting it on, wait for it to dry, then take a little spoolie or a Q-tip and just scrape it off. All right, last for lip, I'm just going in with this NYX lip liner in Whipped Caviar. And I like to put a little more color in the corners. I'm going to use this shimmer lip butter from Nature Well that they sent me. Thank you guys. I almost forgot highlight if you want to do that. So this is the Super Shock Shadow from ColourPop in Tassel. And I'm taking a 2016 style fan brush. Just adding a tiny bit up here. Take your finger for this. I might do that. A little bit to the tip of my nose, a little on my Cupid's bow. And this is the finished look. I think it's really pretty. For some people, this is like the most makeup they'll ever do. For me, this is toned down. So wherever you are in your makeup journey, take whatever you want from this. And I hope you feel pretty too. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.